Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Oh, why, hello there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. So, there's been so much we've been working on. Maybe, perhaps, we got ourselves a little scattered because there's so much going on right now. As I look at a beautiful little baby deer right in front of the window, I heard her walking through the woods when I was throwing ball for Rama. There's a lot going on. There's so much that we want to share with you guys. We have a lot planned. And in the midst of all that, I had my health issues, which, again, you look for silver linings. And I think what it's doing is it's pulling me into my roots a lot more. And, I want to show you guys so much more when it comes to evolutionary energy arts. Literally. I mean, it's again, the whole purpose for the channels originally was not to expose conspiracies, which are actually being shown to be actual fact and truth as we go, but perhaps the greatest conspiracy of all in so many ways, human potential. And we are far more than we think we are. We are far more capable beings than we could ever imagine. In fact, again, it's written, ye are gods. What does that really mean? Well, again, check out more about us over here at evolutionaryenergyarts.com. We have just a fraction of the testimonials up for people that we've worked with and helped in many different ways. Literally, I had 1,000 recommendations wiped out of my Facebook by the system. And then we were hacked over here, and what did they remove? All they removed was the testimonials. But we had some, and we've gathered up others, and new ones have come. These are only, again, just a fraction of what we've been able to do, as we have worked on thousands of people all around the world. This superhuman potential particular playlist, I see it having hundreds of videos as we go along. Hundreds. And I want to create a definitive list because I feel that there's so much lacking out there. And I understand, too, the system really doesn't want to share things that can make you activated and things that can have you living up to your potential. Over on Evolutionary EEARTS and also on Heart's Home, we do have membership there as well. And as you can see, there's quite a few different ones already up, and we just started doing this member-only posts. So I don't know why that's going there. It likes to jump a little. But again, we encourage you guys, if you are so inclined and you want to really learn some things, then join us. Join us on Patreon, join us. And you could also make one-on-one sessions with us, which so many people do. So like later on today, we'll be having a session with two lovely ladies that really want to learn more about how to do energy work. And there's so many different forms of energy work. When you think about human potential and what seems to be beyond most people, when we think of Shaolin, obviously you think of amazing acrobatics, things accomplished by humans that seem almost impossible, mind over matter type training that they would put the monks through in Shaolin. Shaolin, again, is a Wei system. Wei is external. There's Neidan and there's Wei Dan, and you could view them as internal path, external path, again, yin and yang. So even within the external, there's internal. Even within the internal, there's external. This is just part of how the manifest universe works. But I was thinking, what we need to do is maybe to touch on some key people. And when we think of Shaolin, if you are familiar with the stories, the story of Shaolin gets interesting with the visit of a monk, a Buddhist monk, or at least described as a Buddhist monk from India by the name of Bodhi Dharma, also known as Damo. He comes to China, gets to Shaolin, and finds everybody's in horrible health. Why? Because all they do is sit and they stay in still meditation all day. So he teaches them some things, to say the least. He teaches them how to have a vibrant physical body as well as a vibrant energy body. Here is like one of the perhaps most guarded secrets. That which you do to develop your energy body and that you could direct up into your upper dantian, you will take with you into other incarnations. So, why can Cindy do what she does? It's past life work. It's just as simple. It's come with her. Damo is a being that we could certainly look at as a starseed light worker, somebody that came with a big purpose. And Cindy did channel information, and we have good contact with him. Because of my lineage, I think, and the work that Cindy and I have done in past lives, some beings it's easy for us to come in contact with. And perhaps there's even a familiarity from past life work together. And it is the case with Bodhi Dharma, Damo. Very easy to make contact with, and we will be able to share more from him. As again, these beings they're full of love, and they have compassion for humans, and they understand the human situation, as we have been abused by other entities taking advantage of human naivete, let's say, are not understanding how the universe works because they've hidden it from us. As you see here, Bodhidharma was a semi-legendary Buddhist monk who lived, they say, in the 5th or 6th century CE. The other thing I want to get across, and we're going to probably try to get up today if possible, a video, again, showing timelines are not what we've been told. And many people have realized this. So some things in the past are not that far in the past. They're not, millions of years away. And some things that we're told are like 1,500, 2,000 years away. They're more like 500 years away. I mean, a lot less time. Again, they've distorted everything. They've so twisted our history. But when you have somebody like Cindy, and by the time we get to the middle of the Bronze Age, most people that stay free and clear and don't get assimilated into the Borg are going to have Cindy type of abilities. That's just the bottom line. That's just normal, for when we're outside of a Kali Yuga. So anyway, they say 5th or 6th century CE, Common Era. He is traditionally credited as the transmitter of Chan Buddhism to China, regarded as its first Chinese patriarch. He is also popularly regarded as the founder of Shaolin Kung Fu, an idea popularized in the 20th century, they say. But based on 17th century Yijin Qing and Taoist associations of Daoyin, gymnastics, they call it, with Bodhi Dharma. Yes, it's a series of exercises, and again, out of what he taught at Shaolin came the different animal style kung fus, from which then basically everything else has derived according to traditional lines of thinking. Little contemporary biographical information on him is extant, so you have things layered with legend and unreliable details. But basically, Cindy's able to contact him and again, get across different things from him. And, we have some that we're going to share in a moment that she was just channeling this morning, maybe a half hour ago. And you won't find it anywhere else, but it's because of our direct connection to him that we can give you some of this. So when you think about, again, those legends, and India and China, in so many ways, two of the most powerful systems the world has known, as far as sharing a lot of what I view to be real truths with the world. I think there is so much actual knowledge, real knowledge, hidden in the Sanatana Dharma, which again is eternal way, eternal path. And then there's also so much hidden, not just in Buddhism, but in Taoism, in Confucianism as well, practical information, understanding how the universe works. Because instead of, just simply trying to convince you to get down on your knees and worship somebody, the idea here is like when you contact and you look to work with people like Bodhidharma or other guides, again, Kuan Yin, there's so many. What you're doing is you're knowingly contacting advanced beings that have greater knowledge than us in order for them to impart their wisdom to us. It's just that simple. It's not like you're a slave or subservient to the wills of these other beings that treat us like crap, basically. No, you want to learn. You want to understand. How does this universe work? What is my potential? What can I achieve in this embodiment? So, he is credited with teaching us, and we're going to go into a lot more detail. I just wanted to introduce you to him. The Baduan Jin, the 8 pieces of brocade, different purgatory, purging exercises. And one of the first things we'll talk about as far as energy work goes is purgation. And, I think we'll probably have to do that in pieces. And then also, other exercises to channel and guide the life force, the ether, the Akash, into our bodies and our energy field that we can utilize not just in this life. It will benefit you in this life. When you recognize everything is bioelectric magnetism. We are bioelectric beings, and with electricity and magnetism, that's what makes everything go round. That is everything. And when we understand again that when you see lightning, that's life force condensed. It is life force. It's powerful, can be destructive, but you can also utilize it for health and well-being. Recognize that your body is a universe. You got to keep that body in motion. So still meditation is a wonderful practice. But you got to move your body. You got to get it going. You need to circulate the energies. You need to clear out that which needs to be relieved and released from the body. And again, you need to move to get the lymphatic system working. The lymphatic system doesn't have its own pump. It just relies on your motion. So, for me, after surgery, a few days, it didn't move much. And as I started to move more and force myself to walk and, go walking up and down the street and around the yard, I'm feeling better and better and better and stronger and stronger and stronger. And one of the things that I've had to do is modify my breathing a little bit because I'm a deep belly breather from practicing this going back to, all the way back to being about 12 years old. It's like 48 years of practice of different martial arts, which has been more of a personal spiritual thing for me. As I'm not like the type of person that has to be number one. That's just not really in me. I don't want to hurt anybody. I'm not looking to compete with really anybody but myself. I want to be the best version of myself. That's just what motivates me. And when you look at some of the exercises, very simple. Again, there's so many different modifications. You can look up 8 pieces of brocade, do a YouTube search, and you're going to come up with dozens and dozens of videos, hopefully. They try to suppress it. And you'll find that you might not have 2 people that do them exactly the same. That's okay. That's perfectly okay. In fact, it might be good to vary them a little bit. And I've been thinking about that too, because I've done the same set for, 20-something years without much variance. And so it's hitting me, I should probably vary what I'm doing too. Because again, variety is the spice of life, and it is something that is positive. He is associated with 2 major books. We will get into those in each one at its own time in the future. But these practices are more involved, and I want to start with just giving you an overview of him himself. And so you know who this person was, because Bodhidharma was very, very real. Absolutely. Who was he trained by? Well, there's the big secret, because, again, he is fascinating in that he came into this incarnation, unlike most people, he retained his memory. And so he knew who he was. And this is also what we have with Krishna. Krishna, standing there with Arjuna, looking at the battlefield, and Arjuna's like, this big, brave, strong warrior, but then he's just saying, I can't do this. I can't fight. And Krishna gives him the famous dialogue, the Bhagavad Gita, which explains that, don't you know that you cannot really truly die? You are consciousness itself, and so in one sense he's saying all these kings and queens and people out here, these warriors, so many of them are going to die today, yet at the same time they're not really dying. It's just the vehicle, because again, you are the eternal self. And so you cannot be burned by fire. You cannot be extinguished. Your consciousness cannot be put out like a candle flame. So in reality, there's nothing to fear. Again, we are already eternal by nature. This is part of what is openly taught of in the Eastern schools. And again, when we start to understand that these different religions were given to us by different ET groups, some of which really wanted to help us grow up, wanted us to become, somebody that can join the bigger family, the bigger galactic family. Others wanted us to be slaves. So if you look at a system and all they're telling you is fear-based thoughts, you better or you're going to get punished, young man, young lady, that gives you a pretty good clue that that's coming from the ones that wanted to just use us as slaves. When they explain to you that, again, we incarnate many, many times, typically, not always even on this planet. Life abounds, when they explain all this, the interactions with non-human entities. Again, I like the term ultra-terrestrial. Ultra-terrestrial includes interdimensional beings, inner-earth beings, beings living under the oceans, beings living on other worlds. I think I like that term. I really, really do. So again, we will share you some information about Damo and who he really was. And let me start that playing now. I thought it was very, very fascinating. How do I open it there? Okay.
Hopefully like that.
He was born on this planet. He knew his purpose. And he had teachers. So he was one of the few who were born on this planet with knowledge of his coming here, why he came to Earth. So it's almost like he came through a portal, because he came with knowing. As he grew up, he just simply knew who he was and what he was supposed to do. He knew his mission. He did go along with the cosmic law. He didn't need to be told about any kind of treaty. He just automatically knew that he was not supposed to divulge where he was from and what his purpose was. But he did have two ancestral guides with him that did not take a body, that helped guide him on his mission.
And we're talking about Bodhi Dharma.
Yes, talking about Bodhi Dharma. It's a little bit difficult to channel him because there's such a vast language issue. So I'm going off of psychic information that he's sending me through his pineal gland. So he's sending me information, and with that information and the emotions and the waves going through my body, I'm translating the best I can. Even the language that they spoke created a certain. It was a lot like the language he spoke is a lot like mantras, but he spoke it. It was constant. So his energy field was very, very unique. They're telling me that this energy comes through. It was common knowledge in Lemuria to speak this language and move the body in such a way that you create such a powerful piezoelectric or magnetic field wherever you go. And this made it easier to manifest here in this realm, manifest here in the 3D. It was not a problem. He knew his job was to come here to liberate anyone who was suffering and being held down. That was his primary job, liberate them through their own means, through teaching them how to create this electrical force around their body and have the universe bend to their will. But you could only do this with a very pure heart and a very powerful heart chakra. You cannot do this and be twisted and warped, because that would indicate that the heart chakra is out of sync with the cosmic laws. So that's what I'm getting right now. Let me see if I can get more. Give me just a second. People who were suppressed, this was his primary mission, to free them in ways that the authorities did not understand. He sent a wave of freedom throughout the area that he was in that helped people change the energy around them. This is what made it impossible for any kind of authority to come down on him, because he was working with cosmic law. Now, he said there was some instances where people from the outside and other jealous alien type beings who wanted control over humans would come in and cause a disruption. But he was so quick in his teachings and in the way he liberated people, it wasn't very effective when outside forces did come in. He was able to bend that energy and then help people use it in their favor. So he was not sure what to call it, bending the other people's will against them in favor of liberation. And doing that without words was his specialty. Very special type of person. He couldn't talk about who he was, where he was from. He couldn't talk about his mission. He was a very lonely person, but he was able to squash that because he knew his mission was far more important than his human emotions that were surfacing every now and then.
Was there a planet or a star system that he felt was more his home?
I'm picking up right away a Sirius, and then other planets not far from Sirius. So it seems like it's somehow, some way from that area of Sirius. So bringing his light with him and expanding his light without being interrupted through authorities is something he was very, very good at. The other thing that I was told is the amethyst crystals, to have one, even a tiny, tiny shard while you're doing this practice, assisted the energy whenever you were in movement and creating this electric type of field. That amethyst helped. It helped cleanse and strengthen that field. So that's something that's not commonly known, is how important the amethyst was to this practice. People always had it with them, so whenever they did their practice, it was within a certain amount of feet from them, or some found ways to keep it on their body without it being disruptive when they did their practice. And some of these, they're telling me in this time, some of these people had these crystals for hundreds of years and passing it onto their children or passing it on to friends. So it's really hard to say, coming from Lemurian roots, how much energy some of these crystals might have in them, to create the magic in the energy field. So,
are the stories true about him getting to Shaolin and then implementing the Bajuan Jin, the 8 pieces of brocade, and ultimately the animal styles of Kung Fu that developed?
They're telling me, yeah, they were actually very excited about him getting there. There must have been some sort of trial or some sort of energy that was trying to stop him, because there is such an upliftment in that, what you just said, in him making there and getting there and being able to spread this knowledge. That was a huge pivotal point in his whole purpose for coming here. And that was almost like the pebble in the pond that created this huge wave of energy that makes it across to even where you and I are at right now. So that was a huge victory for him to get there and to spread this knowledge. This practice can make you a very strong healer. It strengthens your energy. It rebalances your energy. It uplifts your soul. It really helps your solar plexus sense of self, which takes care of the upper and lower chakras. You know, I'm getting that it's a big practice for those who might have depression. It really opens up the meridians all over the body, and it expands the heart chakra, and it helps you figure out those things that you might be dealing with, and it helps you figure out what you need to do with the traumas, how you need to rectify them. So it gives you an enormous amount of human understanding the human energy field, and just understanding human nature in general. They're telling me this was so extremely helpful in liberating people.
You were saying how he didn't necessarily have to have people to fully understand the practices. You know, if you would elaborate a little more on that.
So he was very, very good at teaching without telling. He was very good at helping to liberate people. If there was too much education where he was teaching, a lot of times the authorities would come in and close down the teachings. So he went in and he was very subtle in his way. He was very, very quiet. He was very stealthy in how he brought his practice into any given location, so as to empower people to such a high degree. Authority had no idea what was going on. He liberated so many people that way. That's by helping them set the intention of wanting to be liberated, because you know that you have to have the intention, and then doing the exercises which strengthen the energy field, which allows them to manifest freedom. So
that's beautiful. Do you feel that you'll be able to connect with him in the future?
Oh yeah, sure. Especially when if we're doing this practice, is when he can really come through. He comes through in another way. He comes through in a full body way, through, they're telling me, through the meridians, through through the moves themselves. So he comes in a very unique way, unlike others. So channeling him is very, very different because I feel it more all over in my body. And then I bring the energy in, and then my brain helps me translate it. So I could get some things wrong, but I think I'm on target with him. It feels right. I haven't gotten any hard stops that tell me that that's not right. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So was that his last full physical embodiment on Earth?
Yeah, because he knew that he was that pebble in the pond, and now he can reach people energetically far better, far easier. But the seed had to be planted.
Wonderful. Anything else?
Not right now.
Thank you. Awesome. So, that was our first connection with Bodhi Dharma. And so we've also connected with that documented Qigong Master that lived somewhere between 250 and 300 years in China. And we've done a few videos talking about him and his life. And also, that is somebody that Cindy can connect to at any point in time. So it's wonderful to be able to get guidance again from these beings. And because when you look at it, if you're just looking at what's been written down, again, he gave two main teachings, two books, the Shi Shui Qing and the Yi Jin Qing, which literally translates into muscle tendon changing and marrow brain washing Qigong. Washing away the indoctrination of this world and washing your brain with the life force itself, illuminating your meridians, turning on your light body. Again, these are the keys to becoming fully activated for humans at this point in time, which again, because we are out of the Kali Yuga, the rules change, the ether changes. And we'll have a lot more interaction and ability to interact with beings of different densities. So again, we've been able to connect with so many amazing teachers and guides. And, that's just normal. Anytime you need to talk to somebody, when you're activated like this and develop these pathways, you'll be able to do it. Now, the information that you receive, how that comes through, that's a more individual thing. And that's part of what we wanted to get across. Like with me, a lot of times I get just flashes, pictures, scenes. Cindy is able to be a full translator much more than me, but I'm more of an amplifier when it comes to energy. I could take energy and amplify it many times, guide and direct it. That just seems to be more in my natural tendencies. Each one of us is a very, very unique being. So even if you don't want to be like Jackie Chan here, absolutely. Can you benefit yourself from understanding some of these practices? Yes, mind, body, spirit, completely. Your physical body will get stronger and healthier. Your energetic body and the different layers will get better, stronger, healthier. Your emotional, your mental. Again, this is a true holistic system. And, some of these are very, very gentle exercises that most people can do. And then it could even be modified if you're in a wheelchair, literally. And I've helped people more as a personal trainer and rehab specialist in certain locations with things like recovering from strokes. I've worked with a lot of people that have had all sorts of different issues over the years. I don't have a degree in nutrition, but I definitely have studied and shared with hundreds, if not thousands of people, information that I've gotten through, from that point of view. But when you look at it holistically, it's not just understanding how the body works and nutrition. You got to understand how the energy works, how the chi works. That is so important. And that's what the Western medical system has missed for so long. And again, freeing up the often stuck emotions that are stuck in our bodies. Emotions, energy and motion can get stuck in organs and in meridians. When you do things like the Ba Duan Jin, the 8 pieces of brocade exercise, you're freeing up and allowing the energy to move in a much more natural flowing way, which is going to help to prevent disease. And it's also going to boost everything from your cognitive abilities to your overall level of health and energy.
You know, it's life-changing. It's so life-changing, the moves, the simplicity of it, yet the effects are so extremely complex. I remember when I started to get into this, I read a little bit of the Iron Shirt, and that's how I began my practice, and it really did release a lot of stuck energy out of my body, and that was, the beginning of my journey to where I'm at now. Things moved very, very quickly. Things moved just so fast. I was stuck. I was in a rut. I was in a place where I was not able to really grow. I was not able to thrive. I was very, very stagnant, and I was getting extremely sick. I had heart issues that were, very, very frightening. Very frightening, that sent me to the hospital. Why? Because my heart chakra was blocked, and I was expanding. My energy was expanding. The heart chakra was blocked. And it's this energy work. It's the energy work that I received from Mike, and the energy that I did myself allowed this Kundalini energy to expand. But it was quite frightening. I don't think people understand how powerful this Kundalini energy can be, and how important it is to learn how to find balance. And when it gets stuck in the energy field, how that causes disease, and how important it is to get that energy unstuck and then allow life to happen around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as a kid, I always gravitated to this. I was a weird little kid. I was meditating in my closet at age 5 to 8, and the reason is because I've gotten from the guides, and Cindy has channeled this. So we've been able to, like, if you can kind of get something across, they won't deny it. So while you're supposed to be kind of veiled in your incarnation, I have gotten that pretty much every other incarnation I take is something like this, where it's as a Buddhist monk, a Taoist monk, to recenter myself. And this is why I always gravitated to this, and this always felt more like home to me than anything. Again, some of us that are viewed to be a little strange and a little fringe, we beat to our own drummer. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, especially when we have Pied Pipers all around us trying to lead us off cliffs.
Indeed.
As always, guys, we encourage you to join us on Patreon and memberships. I think this one will throw up. I'm going to try to throw this one up on EEARTS, and share this so people know, why should I join membership or Patreon? Because, again, unique material, and with the benefit of Cindy being a channel and our different holistic approaches to things, I feel that we have so much that we're only just going to really begin to impart and share with you guys, as this is going to be such a primary focus on us is helping others at this point in time to develop your own healthy, holistic, spiritual mind-body practices.
Indeed.
Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.